want you to know you're the only outsider.
All right, so it's come to that time of day of our final keynote speaker for today. I appreciate everyone's attendance today. It's been a great group of people, great speakers. Can't go without mentioning our sponsors again, though. Keep in mind, our sponsors are what makes this all possible every year. So definitely Mayhew Technologies, USDA, Metrotech, and TJ Financial. Again, without those people, things could not happen at this conference. So again, keep those in mind when you're talking to them, and see them and thank them for their contributions to make this everything possible for us. So our final speaker today is Danny Thomas. He is a U.S. Marine. He promised he left his crayons at home, but he is a resource to help veterans and military spouses. His participation in national, state, and local veteran service organizations is a resource that you can use as well. So he says, ask me about Marine for Life Network as well, but he's going to talk to us a little bit today about his journey through his business and where he started, where he's at now, and hopefully, maybe he'll add where he's going next. So welcome to the stage, Danny Thomas.
Well, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here today. I see this morning it was all standing room only, and this afternoon it's seating room only, so I like that. This is a good crowd. Appreciate y'all being here. And we met Darren here a few months ago, and one of the things that got us to this is our company is a service disabled veteran-owned business, and we wanted to get ourselves involved in contracting. Been a registered, accredited business for many years, since 2010, and we never really pursued earnestly for the veteran-owned business opportunities that we have. So things have changed now. This is part of my life and the business. It's time for us to get busy with that. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but that's why I'm here in the networking part. You're going to hear some of this today, how the networking has really benefited our business. This is really important for us. It's powerful for us. So with that, let's go on. I'm going to give you just a little overview of stuff. I said I'm going to keep track of my time. The clock started. Our journey started back in 1966 or so. Noah, in the audience here, sitting with Krishanda, oldest child. We started off in the church bus way back in the day, just going to church and doing what we did. We'd go skating. We did a lot of different things, but the fun stuff was the church bus. So we started there. We were just friends. And we were very young, I think about 13-ish, 13, 14 years old. And we progressed through life. When we met and we started kind of hanging out a little bit, we just knew that we were going to get married someday. And so when we progressed through high school, helped me with the year, it was probably 1968, I give her a drop. Back then you have your initials on the gold thing, it was a lace, nice little necklace, give her the drop. Well, she reminded me right away that wasn't her drop, that was another girlfriend's drop. But hey, it was used, and she's got a story on that she'll share sometime with you too. But we were made for each other. It was divine intervention that made us come together. Thank you, Lord, for everything, because it's been wonderful for us. In 1970, I left high school because I just got behind as a sophomore in school. I had other things on my mind, so I joined the Marine Corps and I reported for boot camp in November 1970. Noah is a Marine's wife. She's been through everything in the Marine Corps that I've been through, and my kids have been through everything in the Marine Corps that I've been through as they grew up and come around. One of the advantages of being a military brat, and I say it with much love and respect, is that they have friends all over the country. They got friends and relationships that have developed because of this, so there's a very positive thing with that. And it's really served our family well, I believe, and my kids are they're the best that we've ever had. So, in In 1977, I left the Marine Corps because it was the most difficult time of my life as a recruiter. And I'll just park it there. I left the Marine Corps. I came back home and I joined the reserve because I knew the Marine Corps was my home. So for the next 7 years, I worked in the civilian sector. In 1978, I broke out into the oil field. And the oil field back then was a hot ticket. It took me 2 years to get there, and it was a hard process, but I had no experience in the oil and gas industry. He doesn't have any experience, he can't do it. Opportunity came and I jumped on it. And from that day forward, I've been involved in oil and gas. So for the next 7 years, I worked through oil and gas. In 1979 to 84, I had a business that was called Chan's Inspection Service. It's a non-destructive testing organization. We employed 6 people by the time that the business shut down. And we stayed fully employed in western Oklahoma. If you can imagine this, today there's 500 rigs in the United States. At that time, there was 800 rigs in the state. United States 500, 800 plus in the state of Oklahoma. You can literally stand here and make a 360 at nighttime, and to me, it still makes me want to say they look like diamonds in the night. You've seen the drilling rigs out there, and the drilling is just one part of it. They've got a well servicing, they got several other things that goes on with that to get oil and gas to us. Opportunities were outstanding. Many people from across the country came here and they worked in Oklahoma. They migrated here because the jobs, back then the economy was very bad. Interest rates were very high. So it brought a lot of people here, people in the industry. A lot of things going on. It was very dangerous working out there. So when the economy was going bust, we couldn't get paid by our customers. Back then it was a 90, 120, maybe 180 day pay, and you can't do that. I mean, that was the hardest thing about running a business, giving you money, right? We did the work, we paid our bills, paid our vendors, and we couldn't do it. So in 1984, the business went bankrupt. Gone. Just like that. We seen it coming, but we couldn't stop the train. It was just way out of control. So we lost everything that we had. We crippled our way back to Oklahoma City area, and then we started over. So I immediately went and seen the recruiter for the Marine Corps because, hey, I know that's a safe space for me. 2 years it took me to get back where we go back to active duty. That's where I should have stayed when I left the first time, but it just didn't work out. So I enlisted in the Marines. I had a job security, I had a home, and we were on our way moving up. I appreciate you being there with me, and it was awesome. We had our 3 children by that time, and we went through a lot. And if talking about being broke, I own it because it was all on the line. That's what we did. That's what an entrepreneur has to deal with sometimes. So here's my children. Rashonda, hope you can see this. Rashonda in the top left with her children, Madison and Cadence. Here's Chad, the oldest son, number 2, middle child. We hear about it all the time, right? Hudson, Teagan, and Tinley. Hudson is the youngest member of our buddy club. He's the junior. Over you have Brad. He's the baby in our family. He just turned 45. Young man. And here's his children. Wonderful, wonderful family. Thank you, Lord, for our family. The buddy club, though, just a little story. When the Madison and Cadence were just little fellers, the family had moved back to Oklahoma. We got kids all over the United States, right? As they matured and moved up, they migrated back to Oklahoma where home is. And Cadence and Madison, man, they was Papa's buddies, right? And so Krishana one day said, "Yeah, you and your little buddy club." Well, then the buddy club came about, and we got them established in the year 2000. That's when Madison was born. So the buddy club has been one of those fun things that we do. But Papa's buddy club, we do a lot of good things together. It's a lot of fun. But what I do today is why I do what I do, because of this right here. I want to go home every day safe. I want to go home every day and love on them, be with them, be a part of our family. And because of my business, my safety culture, my mindset, all my experience in this year, that's why I do that. And that's the passion that I bring to our business. Back in, I think this is about 2017, I can't recall the date, but this little picture you see here, it's on my binder here, I carry it with me everywhere I go. But Cadence, little baby Cadence, she started coloring and doing things. She made this here, and she says, to accurate safety. You know, that hung in my garage for years and years, and here recently, this is our 20th anniversary this year. Pull it off the wall, send it to the family, remind us, and that's what it's a reminder that a legacy has began a long time ago and is starting to form as we stand right here. Very proud of that. Infamous Pawpaw, if you see the hat there, this is my favorite hat. You see anything unique about that? Does that remind you of anybody? Because I always have these everywhere I go. There's probably a couple of pairs of tables out here. And of course my sunglasses. So these are officially called Eagles. All right, Eagles. Pawpaw's Eagles. But the Buddy Club is what motivates me. That's my purpose every day to get up and do what I do along with my children. I want to talk just a little bit about accurate safety, how we come about in 2004. On the list up here you see USMC, oil field runner, you see all these different things going on. Back in the 1979-84 time frame, there was a company called Accurate Oilfield Products. Partnered with my brother-in-law, we had some success with that, and then when the oil boom went boom, it went away too. But Accurate was born back then, the name of the company. It was a good fit. But I want to go here and take a look at T.H. Hill and Associates. T.H. Hill and Associates was a non-destructive testing company. Quality assurance, quality control. They had drilling engineers that would design a drill stem for the wells that would be drilled on land as well as offshore and internationally. Family business. Because of my previous experience back in the 70s that I just talked about, I had the experience to do this. It was procedures, it was policies, it was things that had to be done to ensure that the quality work was happening. So if you've ever heard of a company, maybe Tuboscope, a major international company, there's another company called, there's another company in town that's a small business that do non-destructive testing. When his tools go down to the well to be used, they break, they wear, they tear, and we have to inspect those and make sure that they're serviceable. But while I caught an assignment with T.H. Hill where I went to Barbados. They flew me on a plane down there, I boarded a drill ship in Barbados, and we came back to the United States, to the Gulf of Mexico, went through the straits there where Cuba is at. And on this trip, our mission was to inspect the downhole assembly, bottom hole assembly. All that, what that means to you is there's pipe racks, these are heavy, heavy pieces of equipment. We were to do the non-destructive testing on these. As we would inspect it and move it on down the racks, the drillers, the roughnecks on the next deck above us would pick this up at a makeup machine. They would build what we call a stand of pipe. 3 joints of pipe standing, it's about 90 plus feet in the air. They would stand it over to the derrick, and then they would stand preparing to go drill. The ship costs thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars a day to operate. So it's a good moving process. But during this 10-day trip, this mission that we had to work 12 hours a day, piece of cake. The seas would be a little rocky, what have you, different things going on. Operations on the deal, we had to stop work because it's busy. I know you folks in the Navy, your aircraft carriers, the sailors, the Air Force, all the folks that are out there in the pool being busy, it's like an ant farm. Very dangerous. So we had to stop work. But every day before we were out on the deck for work, and we were more or less in the center of all this activity on the racks, with all this overhead cranes going. But we go into the ready room, we get a briefing on the daily operations aboard the ship. That sounds familiar, I like that, I'm motivated. Then we would give a report on what we'd done the day before. Update them, or what we'd accomplished, challenges we had, any safety incidents, were always negative. And then we'd tell them what our plan was for the day. And the plan would always coincide with the things that's going on. So we all know what is going on aboard the ship to be aware of the hazards. Very important stuff because we wanted to be safe out there. Now, one of those days I was up on the deck where the captain and the crew and all are there. They got the main place where they drive the ship from. And I'm sitting there waiting to go over to this briefing, and I'm reading the company magazine. The operator for this job was
ConocoPhillips. Petroleum and Phillips Petroleum merged together at some time, and they had they put the resources in to get their health and safety program intact and under control. And I was reading an article about that, and they changed the culture of their company to improve safety. Fatalities went lower. Incidents, mangling people got much lower. It was a very bought in from top to bottom, all the safety things that they did. The light bulbs are clicking with me, and I'm thinking about, gee, this is just like taking care of Marines. We look out for each other. We know it's dangerous, but we do what we do because that's what we do. So I was very at home with that, and every day was motivated to go do that. But the light bulb went off, and that's when I thought, I was looking for something to do. I wanted to be a businessman, and at this time, I'm just out of the Marines about 2-3 years from retiring. And the lights went off, and I thought, if I could do this in Oklahoma, where it's very dangerous, in oil and gas. At that time, Chesapeake Energy was really ramping up, really growing, getting stronger. I thought, if Chesapeake would grab a hold of this, we could make a difference in the industry. So that was just my vision. So I made the decision on that trip that I was going to come home and learn about oil and gas more. I was going to get myself my education, my benefits, and learn about health and safety, environmental things, and that's what I did. I pursued that. So that got us to Chesapeake Energy. Now, let me just back up a little bit. That got me to Neighbors Well Servicing. I left THL, come home, got enrolled in school, went out to Neighbors and got a job with them. I went in knocking on the door asking for a inspection job or a safety job. I said, we need a salesman. That's me. Let me in. I got in and started after it. And during that, I was introduced to the Association of Energy Service Companies. I'll talk more about them in a minute. But it was a well servicing organization that was advocated for oil and gas industry. And the boss was adamant, you'll be at these meetings, once you be there, you'll be in a salesman, you'll be able to network, et cetera. So I said, I'm in. So, let me catch up with my notes here. So at Neighbors, I had worked with them, and I decided I was going to quit Neighbors and really focus more on my education. And because of that, I had met Rod Yatello. Rod was a business owner of Rambler Energy. Now they had 8 workover rigs. That's an employee population of just under 50 people. His admin staff was him and his bookkeeper, his office administrator. The rest of the people were all out in the rigs doing what they do. He knew that I had left Neighbors. He knew that I was kind of in between. I wasn't looking for a job. I was looking to focus on education. And at one of the AESC meetings, he says, Dan, I'm looking for a safety director of mine who's retired. Would you be interested? I said, I'm interested, but I would be a much better consultant than I would an employee. Well, I really want to focus on this and do it. So we made an agreement. It all happened. He was my first customer back in 2004. My business was now a one-man operation. Okay? So all the things that I've been hearing about today, the different seminars, breakouts, that was me. And the business was working me pretty good, and I was still going to school, making progress. But I rocked along there real well, and just after a few months, Rod referred me to a friend of his who is pictured here. You see me in the center. To my right is Tony Porter. Tony was the operations manager / business owner, partner of Ultimate Drilling Company. And the lady over here to the left is Diana Edwards at that time. She was the director of Oklahoma's OSHA outreach program, the director. I met her through the
association I'm here through the American Society of Safety Professionals, another association I was a part of. So relationships, associations, you see how these are forming up. And because of my relationship with Diana, and because of the things that Ultimate did for my safety consulting and help with them, is they were awarded the Excellence Safety Performance in 2006, I believe it was, here on my notes. And this, over the next 3 years, these folks grew to 6 rigs, over 75 employees. Had a very good, successful run. And what I did during this time is I hired 3 more people to help me with this work in the field, because these rigs are scattered now in Louisiana, Oklahoma, southern Kansas, so we're kind of working, spreading around, doing a lot of different work. And but we were on the fast track, and these people that worked for me had some safety backgrounds, some knowledge in the back, and had oil and gas experience. But each of these individuals, I attached them right here, and they walked with me, drove with me, listened to me for a couple of weeks or so, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. And I taught them all the things they need to do to become like me. And they've done it really well. And because of that, we evolved into some other things we did to help grow our company. But the training that I did for them is still, you can still duplicate that today. The milestones for them during that time was that, our goal was to just keep them safe. But we had, it was a major milestone for Ultimate and myself to help them achieve this award that they got. And it was one of the prouder things that I'd done early in my career. And I thought, gee, this isn't that bad. This is really working for me. So, did I go too far? Here we go. Yes. So, volunteering has its advantages. Volunteering has its advantages. Think about where you're at in your leisure time, your extra time, whatever, the volunteering that you may or may not do. People in these associations, these support groups that we have, you know who the busy people are, because they're the ones that are there all the time, always doing what they can do. And if you want to get something done, they always say what? Find somebody that's busy. So, the associations that I've been a part of, and there's many of them, I've always found a niche in there that I can support. I can't be at all your meetings, but I can be there once a year for Toys for Tots, maybe. But the Association of Energy Service Companies, they were a 50-year industry association all over the United States. They're the largest well servicing association in the country. Their primary mission was to be a leader in the industry for reducing industry accidents, for worker safety, and also regulating the regulations on the Department of Transportation, things that they do for drivers. And one of the things they were very instrumental in is the rigs that you drive. For DOT folks, those of you in the business would know, but you have a limit of hours you can operate each day under the regulations. Well, they got some waivers for the well servicing people because that's just what they did, and it worked out for them. They still had to keep their hours, but they didn't have the strict rules like they do still today. And that was a big game changer for people in the industry. So the Association of Energy Service Companies was a success for my business. Because of my relationship with Rod Diatillo and his connections, that one person right there was a game changer for my life, and that's what started us with Accurate. It opened the door, I walked in, and we just made it happen. Diane Edwards, I just talked about her. Because of my relationship with the folks within the American Safety Professionals, I'd done my volunteer part. I had a little bit of respect from the folks. I'd done what I said I would do. And because of the relationship, I knew about this program that Ultimate was awarded. They were the first oil and gas company to ever get recognized. We're a small business. It's a big deal for our industry. So, the ASC, I remained with them for several years. I've got listed up here some of the duties that I fulfilled with them. Golf committee. I couldn't hit a golf ball back then. I play today. I don't hit it much better. Okay, but I'm hanging in there with it. But I got on the golf committee. Also became the chapter treasurer. These other things you see here, the program chairman. I knew that the program chair would get me in front of a lot of people. I can make calls to your office as a program chair for the ASC. You would let me talk to your boss because they knew who we were. And And it was usually to invite you to come be a part of our, be a speaker, set up an event. So I knew that, I took it, that's where I'm real strong at. Toys for Tots, I'll talk about that in just a moment, but Toys for Tots, I've been involved with that since 1974. It's a recruiting thing back in the day. It's still good for recruiting. It's one of the world's, United States' most efficient nonprofits going. It's all about kids and toys. But I did earn the confidence of our fellow members. It helped me with the personal growth and on business growth. AEFC had merged with another entity, and then they're doing some other things now, but they are pretty much, they're out of business now. They merged somewhere else. 2008, I had been working, doing my consulting work, and back then, by this time I was a OSHA outreach instructor, signed off certified by OSHA to teach these courses. That gave extra credibility to the work that I did. The programs that I written were all OSHA based, and they're solid. And they were, I would make those customer specific. And so what I did, I was approached. They had some grant money at the time. I was taking advantage of it because I was out hustling businesses in our industry. And when the people would complete their training, they'd have an OSHA 10-hour safety card, good for life. So Bill Jackson, the director of the High Plains Tech Center has been a big plus for me in my business. He is the one that had contracted with me to do some of the work, and I was out hustling. They had this money to spend, and I was getting a fair share of it. He says, I got a customer, Danny, that needs some training. They're going to want some forklift stuff. They're going to need some help with some other things. And or would you be interested in doing it? I said, well, yeah, who is it? He said, well, I won't tell you. We played that out. He said, well, would you get me a list of things together that you think we might need? Would you be willing to meet these folks? And I said, yes. So it all happened. I went and visited with those folks, and out of that, I started contracting with, through High Plains Tech Center on behalf of Chesapeake Energy and Nomad Drilling. Nomad Drilling was a subsidiary of Chesapeake Energy. It was Nomad Drilling Services. They had, I think, about 18 rigs at that time. And when I left NOMAC in 2010, they were up around 39 plus rigs. They just exploded in business. Chesapeake seen this coming. NOMAC knew it was coming. They got Danny to get in there, and Danny started training these folks. I would make the rigs several times. And at the time, I got to where I would tell them, I said, I can't do any more. I'm tapped out this week because there was that much opportunity there. And the other folks that had working were busy in other places. But what happened out of that is they approached me 2007 and said, Danny, we got a deal for you. Would you become our training director for the company? And it's like, oh my gosh. And I'd already been talking to Chad about coming over to help me because I was at that point. And Chad was still doing some things in oil and gas, and he was good where he was at. But when they made this offer, I said, I'll do it. I let Chad know. I said, hey, look, brother, you're going to do this or I'm shutting her down, but this is a big deal for me and I'm going to do it. I could always be there in my mind as was my tact. But he came along, he took the responsibility. I got about 2.5, 3 weeks with Chad to just kind of get him. He was already in the game, but I got him doing what we're doing, and he took the business over at that time. This was like in July, August of 2007. So for the next 30 months, I'm busy working at NOMAC. I mean, it's full on. Well, it was a great challenge, a great opportunity. We had a great team there that was working together to build the programs, to do the things that we did. It was awesome. What came out of it, though, Searcy, Arkansas, was about a 6-hour drive from here. I was going there pretty frequent, but we built a 250-bed man camp over there. All the infrastructure in that, just like on a military installation, security at the gate. They even got the racks made and the rooms cleaned up. It was a pretty sweet deal, I thought, for these roughnecks. But they would travel in from all around the country. They would spend 2 weeks there working and 14 on and off shift, 14 days on, 14 off, making killer money. And these were highly skilled people like you and I that are just out there working hard every day. One of the advantages with that is that I was tasked to, of course, put the training program together, and we had already spent several months getting the NOMAC thing together, their safety program training together, but now we just had to adapt it to this Searcy where we built a simulator. This is just a little short picture of the simulator that we drilled a 150-foot well on the school campus. Took a while to get those permits. We cased it. We built a simulated rig floor. We put tongs, a rack, a hoist to pick tubular products up off what we call a B door. Had all these tools that the roughnecks would handle, bending, reaching, touching, all the things they did. So they would have 80 hours of classroom, practical application on the rig and the other ancillary tools out there. So when they complete that 2 weeks, now they're headed off to the drilling rig. You know, going now, you're going to go over here and start jumping off that platform for your parachute training. And now the men would spend the next 4 to 6 weeks, depending, going through a mentor program to just get them where they can start working on the rig. This program was so successful, and one of the really great things about it, because of my Marine Corps background, you asked about Marine for Life. This is all part of that Marine for Life. One of the examples of this, a friend of mine, dear friend of mine, Frank Pulley. He's in California. He was working at the time. His company was to find military veterans, connecting military veterans to oil and gas. And so Frank came out, visited with Chesapeake, their HR department. It was a great fit, great success. And then we started bringing Marines, lots of Marines. And then we started bringing Army, a good fair share of Army. And other veterans started coming into this program. It was great. Those people today, I'm pretty sure are out there working somewhere, doing something related to this industry. So it was a big win. So another key milestone for me in my career, and it was because I took advantage of an opportunity that I saw a bigger picture there. And again, I'm thinking about accurate, how it will benefit. So the milestones there was the drilling rig simulator. All that was good training for me to what I'm even doing today. We had an employee training record management program, and now at Accurate, because of what I implemented back then, we've taken that and we've developed that through our IT group. We built a program now that keeps track of all those records. It's in real time. It's really awesome. And these employees now, they own those records forever. This is just another thing that spun off from that. But we had a fully developed health, safety, and environmental employee orientation program, as well as a fully developed refresher training for the employees out there. All this with the support and the money and the resources that NOMAC gives us. So, kind of just building this down now, I've talked about some key companies that really got us started, and this is within about the first 2004 to 2010, about the first 6 years of the company is where I want to talk about now. And so since this time, we've been doing what we're doing, and it's really worked well for us. But Accurate is a diverse business. We saw the opportunities that were there that businesses like you and others, most of us need in the industry. As a business owner, what do you have for your health, safety, environment program? Most of us do not have the budget to finance that, but we got the expectation and the federal regulation that says you must have a health, safety, environmental program. You must do these certain things. There's a lot of things that goes with that, but that's my niche. The mom and pop, Accurate companies, folks like you and I in here today, is where we really cut our teeth on. And we still are it still works for us. This business model does a really good thing for us. But we got 20 years experience under our belt now. We've been serving American workers all this time. The company has grown to hundreds of customers. There's 3,200 customers on our list that we've had at one time or another through the years. Some are gone, some don't use it, but there's a lot of them there. We're known to focus on your needs. What do you need? What's your problem today? How can we make that happen? You rent us, you don't hire us, you just rent us when you need us, and it's a pay-as-you-go kind of deal. There's different ways to make that happen. But we focus on your needs and your wants. We ensure that we give you full service and at a wholesale cost. Because of our diversity, we have multiple products. I'll show you some of those in just a second. But our mission and our goal is that we have 0 incidents today. I want you to go home safe today, so does your family. Very important for us. I look at this here and my chest swells. It's almost emotional to me to just think about what we've done with it is emotional to me to see what we've done with our company. The people that work for us, we've got some folks that have been with us a long time. There's folks that have came and gone that are out there in the industry that are now, they're our customers because of the relationships that we've created with the people. Accurate has trained more safety people than most people in the state, maybe the country. You go get your college degree, but when you come to Accurate, you're going to come out there as a safety technician. You have completed several things. I'm real proud of that. Those 3 people I just talked about earlier were trained just like that, and we're good at it. But our company has grown to 6 divisions in 1 house. Here you see the different things on there, and the consulting, the training, and the industrial hygiene. Those are the 3 things that got us to the dance. Those are the 3 things that got us to the dance. Those are 3 things that every employer needs out in the industry. If you're a mom and pop, if you're Danny with 1 customer, or Accurate with hundreds of customers. These are the things that we focus on. The industrial supplies, COVID, full disclosure, knocked the heck out of us. We lost some of our direct distributorships because we just couldn't produce what they needed. A lot of vendors and manufacturers, they scrubbed their list down, so we're earning our way back to that. We still got some good representatives for us, but the industrial supplies, we always custom our industrial supplies to what you need. You don't go to a catalog and search 1,000 products. You go to the catalog and you find the 6, 8, 10 items that you use the most of that you need. And it works for us. It works for you. Remember the diversity. If you're buying a pair of safety goggles, a safety hat, a pair of coveralls, you're using our consultation safety programs for training and safety meetings and just hazard assessments. That's multiple sources of income that we can blend, if you will, to make it more economical for you. It works for us. When you go to our webpage and you look at the products that's designed for you, and your people can even order it based on how you set them up to do that. It's a great program. Our technology folks developed that for us. So we serve primarily the oil and gas. It's our bread and butter, and it's been like a spike, right? But we also serve the manufacturing. We do some medical, we do transportation, fire safety, we've got highway safety, we do construction, and we're covering out little niches in all these different industries as we speak. It's very exciting now. It's always been exciting and accurate, but it's really exciting now. And one of the newest things that we did is we got the government contracts section going on. And that's where Rashonda came aboard here just, I guess about 5 months now, maybe. Time is going by quick. But she's grabbed the hold and she's making some things happen. So we're in the business now of soliciting business contracts with the government. And I'll let you know, we did submit our first bid, if you will, quote, and we swung and we missed. But the milestone there and the takeaway is we did the work and we learned from that. So we're going to be stronger the next time. And we're moving forward. We've grown a lot. And Darren got us on track for that just because of the sit down we had and the enthusiasm he had to push us. So another resource that I take advantage of for us. Here I just want you to see, did I miss one? Oh, I guess not, okay. So let's talk about some of the differentiators. Differentiators, I've looked at that word a few times this week, and is that the one you was wrestling this morning?
No,
Okay, it was changed.
that's why I changed it to.
Okay, all right. But differentiator, you always want to compare yourself to your competition and what differentiates you to your customers, your competition. Well, us, this is it here. And remember, we're still focused on the 3 things that got us here, but my reputation is everything to me. Without my reputation that I have today, it's not going to be a win-win. That's why our word of mouth business that we have grown has been because of the reputation of myself. Now it's blended off to the other people. The people at our company know that we work lean and we work hard and we stay on task. Our people work tirelessly. And we take We take good care of it, and we want to take even better care of it. One of the core values for me is when you call me on the phone, you email me, you reach out to me, nowadays with the text, you are the most important person at that time. Nothing else matters because you are the person there now. When I report to your work site to work with you or your people, that is the most important thing for me at that time. My phone stays in the truck. I carry whatever I'm doing with me to do the things out there. I'm on site for you and you only. It's like representing you. And part of that is we earn your respect. Not just today, but every day. Anytime that we're out there doing something, we know that you depend on us. And our folks are very committed to doing that. I'm so proud of our folks because I see it time and again. I hear the feedback. One of the best compliments in the world is, I had them come out, it was a new customer, they'd done such a great job, and it was just, it just warms my heart. If you have a misfire, own it. I've got a sack full, right? But when I have a misfire, I own it right then. And mistakes happen. We can always correct the mistakes if we know about them. It's what I don't share with you that gets us all in trouble. As your safety representative out there, I have to disclose everything to you because you trust me with that. You make the decisions. When it's a hard decision, that's where I'm there to help coach you and mentor and guide you, to keep you out of trouble. Under promise and exceed expectations. I own that every day. I do everything I will always exceed your expectations. For me, it might be like this, but you're going to think, wow, that was really awesome. And that's what we want. We want you to call us back. We want you to tell your friends. Integrity, I'll just park that. It's what it is. You either have it or you don't. Don't ever compromise it. Don't even give it a little bit. I respect my customers. I know that I respect you because I've been in your shoes and your boots. I know what it is to go through all of that. So I'll hang in there with you. I know that you are the very best at what you do. So we communicate that to our customers. That helps us continue our growth. Together we will succeed. Together we will succeed. So now you've heard a little bit about all the different things that's going on in my life. This is kind of where my journey is at as of today. There's get my face on this. I need to check that time. Oh, we're tracking real good on the time here. I like that. So, just to share with you here, this is just some captions of the things that is going on at Akron, and this is just a thumbnail of it. But here's three of our folks. And these men are wearing, I believe it's Chesapeake Energy hard hats, but they're our employees. Okay? They're our employees. And a lot of our customers want their brand, they want to be that person out there, and that works for us. And we comply with all that, and we go above and beyond. And we are very proud of that. So just because you call Akron, if you want us representing you, we can do that. It's no big deal. That's what we're all there for anyway. This basic orientation, I just want to point this out for us. This program, several years ago, I had an associate of mine write this program for me. I paid him some good money for it because I needed it at the time. But this was one of the early versions, but it has evolved now. This program is now recognized by the International Association of Building Contractors, IEDC. It's the world's largest oil and gas industry association. We've been a member since 2010. And we have been through 4 audits with these folks and had zero findings on all of our audits. And these are third-party folks that come in with a sharp sword, sharp pencils, and guns smoking, and we exceeded it every time. And we've been complimented on that many times. But this program is something I'm proud of. We also have a hydrogen sulfide instructor development course that I developed. It's a very efficient program. We teach people how to become instructors. And it's in this context, it's for being a hydrogen sulfide gas instructor. And we teach you to be instructors in a lot of other things. Industrial hygiene If it has anything to do with the person's health, wellness, we have the capability to offer that. Again, blended services, blended costs, it makes it very efficient for you. I'm proud to know that we are now associated with Oklahoma Vets. We've got the logo, we do the things that we do. Big aha, another milestone for us. I talked about sam.gov earlier, and I've been asking folks if you're associated with, if you've got yourself registered yet. If you don't, just take this away today. I can help you with that, as far as guiding you and pointing you and helping you click it. It's easier today than it was in 2010. And it's not hard to do, but don't be afraid. If you want to get yourself registered with the state of Oklahoma, as well as the sam.gov, opens many doors for you. And us as veterans, we can partner together with our strengths and go after this work together. So I always like to leave this with folks too. I wish I had a Danny Thomas accurate safety when I started out, because it would have made a difference for me. And that's what I am today. I'm that guy that's here for you. So now, here, I want to get to this slide here. We're getting ready to wrap this up. OSHA has the top 10 most cited industry standards that they put out every year. This is for 2023. 24 will be coming out here in just a few weeks. But look on here. You know, here's the number one. You go all the way down. This is how they're rated on the list. Every year, OSHA goes out and they do program inspections of work sites. So, oil and gas industry has had our turn at it. I promise you, fall protection and construction and roofers are programmed right now. They have been for a long time. There's a lot of things you can do to make your safety program well, but look right here. 2,100 violations. And the violation can be a fine of a very significant amount of money. And if there's 5 of us in the room, and 5 of us are violating that standard with safety glasses, for example, that's 5 citations times the number they want to tag you with. They're very serious about it. OSHA's mission is to prevent workplace injuries and fatalities. And you and I, as employers, have that responsibility to our employees and our company. So this is an area that we're very comfortable in. We provide a lot of different services that will help you with that, and it doesn't have to be complicated. And it does cost you some money. It's not scary money. You'd be surprised what you can do with just a little bit of energy. Okay? Anything up there lighting your Christmas tree a little bit? Got your antennas beeping? So, here's a call to action for you. How can we be of service to you today? How can we be of service to you today? You go to our website. If you go under and you want to look at some things behind the scenes on things, it'll ask you to create an account. I encourage you to do that. Create an account. Just see what's going on. You can even take a picture of yourself, put it on your profile. If you've got training records, I've got my hunting license. I've got my gun concealed carry. I've got my license. I've got some other things in there that are documents that are protected that I can go to if I need them, like right now. That's and what I want to take with that is training records is what drew in all this. But a person that gets certified or trained for anything with health and safety or anything, it's the employee's record. Employers are really good about keeping your records, but they're yours. And when you create an account here and your employer sends you in to get some training, those are your records that you're letting your employer have permission to have access to, even though they're paying for it. So not to make that real complicated. What that does for you is it takes you down the road where you have those training records for years to come. Any DOT folks in here? Department of Transportation drivers? Any obligations there? Okay, so we would be a real benefit for DOT. You can find us on LinkedIn. Here's our webpage. If you keyword it, we're very easy to access. If you hit us up on the info question at Accurate, we're very responsive to that. And you can call me or Accurate anytime for any question about anything, because we will help you. That's what we do. Any questions? Any comments like, hey, thank you very much. And 46 minutes and 52 seconds, so mission accomplished.
Well, thank you, Danny. I found one of those stats very interesting. That was the ladder incidents and violations, saying 2,950. I remember going to St. Anthony, it was Baptist Hospital a couple of years ago, and I saw a guy painting one of the pillars during the construction area. On the sleeve of his shirt said, "Safety first." Well, he was in an A-frame ladder standing on the top of that ladder painting. Good thing he was at the hospital, right? Because you never know from that top rung, especially. So thank you, Danny, for that conversation of where you began and where you've gotten to now. I think it's important to understand. Again, like he said, what had happened if he had given up on the first time? Wouldn't be to where he is today. So that's what's important to take away from that. Don't forget tonight, 6 o'clock, if you've got the time, go down to Toby Keith's in Bricktown. Meet with the RWB group and have a good time down there tonight. Otherwise, I guess we will see you tomorrow morning. We will start promptly at 9. Try to be here about 8:30 if you can, though, please. And I hope you enjoyed the day, and we'll see you tomorrow.